I actually don't want to talk an awful lot about the Perth waterfront project. I will sort of mention it. The fact that I got into activism, urban activism, because of the waterfront project. It's such an awful thing that's happening to Perth. And Perth is my home, and about 18 months ago, I just decided that I'd had enough of the way Perth was being planned. And it was really triggered by the waterfront project. It's a dreadful thing, and it's really taken a lot of energy over the last 14 to 18 months to get people to focus on it, and now finally we're starting to get some traction. But we look around us here. I'd like to talk more generally than about the waterfront, because I think everyone knows about that. But we look around us here, and this is pretty good. To many people that live in Cottesloe, in the blue blood area of Perth, things are pretty good. Dalkeith, Nedlands, Claremont, all of those areas are pretty good. As soon as you go outside about a 9 or a 10 kilometre radius in Perth, things deteriorate. So under very, very average planning regimes for the last 40 or 50 years, Perth now creeps 40 kilometres to the north and 40 kilometres to the south of just a mass of suburban residential population. Perth really has a lot of problems. In fact, it's now regarded as the most unsustainable capital city in Australia. That's absolutely nothing for Perth to be proud of. It occurs for two reasons. It occurs because we have awful town planners, and have had that for many, many years. They just keep repeating the same things time after time. And because they are far too close to the development industry. So they just keep doing things. They've been told not to allow urban sprawl to occur, but it just occurs. And then this miracle happened about 4 years ago. This fellow named Colin Barnett accidentally became Premier of this state. Now that presented them with an opportunity, a very powerful opportunity. Bureaucrats recognised in this man that they could somehow wipe out the community from any involvement in planning. They recognised he was the guy. He could do this for us. So a nexus occurred. Yes, sir. On you move. A nexus occurred, he's a friend of mine, between politicians, Colin Barnett, and the bureaucrats. And they neatly, through legislation, have put the community out of the whole planning process for the whole of Perth. So now you don't have any say anymore in what happens to your town. This is my hometown. This is your hometown. I wrote an opinion piece recently that reminded people that we own this city. This city is not owned by the government. Do you understand that? We own, every landholder here owns this city. Do you know what the government own? They own the roads and the railway lines and this type of land we're sitting on. They are the minority landholders in this city. We are the majority landholders of this city. By far, 60 to 70% of the city is owned by us. So the government and the developers, which are by far the minority, are screwing with our land continually. Now, if Colin Barnett gets back into power, I can assure you that we will have a very uncomfortable time for at least one more electoral round. He will take it as a mandate for everything he even thinks. He will take it as a mandate for his dreams. Things that he hasn't even thought of yet, he will take it as a mandate. Now, I've experienced this personally down here in Cottesloe. I've been working very closely with the Cottesloe Local Council for the last several years, replanning all this foreshore and trying to make it better. Now, Colin Barnett did not accept the fact that at least 70% of the community, which is shown in recent surveys, support low-rise development in Cottesloe. He just didn't accept that fact. He just felt, for his own reasons, that Marine Parade should be 5 to 8 stories. I mean, he's not an urban planner. It's just his own whim that he decided this is the way things should be. So he just completely overrided all the work that we had done and overrided his own electorate. And 70% of the people disagree with him. Now, we were warned at the time that he would strike against the council and he would use the Cottesloe Council as an example. Don't mess with the state government. And that's exactly what happened. So we were all negotiating together. Kevin Morgan, the mayor, and myself went with Colin Barnett. We tried to reason with him. We showed him why you can't develop 5-storey buildings along Marine Parade. We spent an hour with him. At the end of it, his comment was, well, if none of this works, why are you worried? People just won't be able to develop it. He didn't shift his thinking 1 inch. Now, we've been fighting Elizabeth Key for the last 18 months. It's all logical, scientific, proven fact that we're presenting on traffic and pollution and all the issues that we put forward. It just doesn't have any impact on this man whatsoever. So if he gets back in, if we allow him to get back in, he will go for Perth. He will do everything that he wants to do, and he will think that he's got a mandate for it. So I urge all of you, and I'm in blue blood territory here, and I know why there's not a lot of people here, because it is blue blood territory. And let's face it, we are heretics in this environment. So when on the election day, we've got a lot of independent candidates who are very, very good. And I urge you to tell all your friends, we've only got a week to go, please do not let this guy get back in again, because we will all suffer badly until the next election. Thank you.